Welcome into NFL Daily. I am Will Scott. The Raiders-49ers game just wrapped up. It was the last NFC game that we were awaiting a conclusion to because we now have the updated NFC playoff picture after Week 17. So heading into the final week of the regular season, there is definitely going to be some chaos here as we round the final turn. Taking a look here at the updated playoff picture, it has changed rather significantly here because you have the Seattle Seahawks now in the playoff picture. The Giants clinched a spot earlier today with their big win. The Eagles lost, so they did not clinch the number one seed. The Niners leapfrogged the Vikings, so the Niners are now second. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they clinched a playoff spot and the division with their win over the Carolina Panthers. Tom Brady leading the comeback there to clinch the NFC South yet again. With the Vikings loss, again, they fall from the 2 seed to the 3 seed. We'll get into the teams that have been eliminated later on in the show, but the 2 teams in the hunt that are not currently in, the Lions and the Packers, and guess what? They play each other in Week 18. Now go down and subscribe for more NFL playoff picture videos. We're going to have you covered here going into the last week of the regular season. After the Bengals-Bills game, we'll get you an updated AFC playoff picture video as well. Let's talk about the number 1 seed, and we'll go seed by seed here. That is the Philadelphia Eagles, and if they had won today, they would have clinched the number 1 seed. Instead, they lost to the Saints, and at the time that game was being played, the Saints still had an outside chance to make the playoffs. The Saints have since been eliminated, but still beating the Eagles here today. So they play the Giants in Week 18. What's interesting is the Giants have already clinched the 6th seed. They might rest all their guys next week. Eagles might have a rather easy victory at home. Don't want to call anyone easy, especially in Week 18, but the Eagles will definitely be heavy favorites there. So they will clinch the NFC East with a win or tie to the Giants, or a Cowboys loss or tie to the Commanders. They will fall to the 5 seed. They've been the number 1 seed pretty much all year, but they'll fall to the 5 seed with a loss and a Dallas Cowboys win to Washington. The new number 2 seed is the San Francisco 49ers, and they conclude their season against the struggling Cardinals in Week 18. They have a shot, and a pretty good one at the number 1 seed. Here's how that happens. They will clinch the number 1 seed with a win and an Eagles loss to the Giants. They will clinch at least the number 2 seed with a win or a Vikings loss to the Bears. So the Niners playing really good under Brock Purdy. Big win today in Las Vegas. The new number 3 seed. They were once the 2 seed. After the horrific, and I mean it was a blowout loss to the Packers today, the Vikes are now the number 3 seed. So they have been eliminated from number 1 seed contention. That's not going to happen now. After their loss to the Packers, they can clinch the number 2 seed with a win and a 49ers loss to Arizona in Week 18. We just went over the top 3 seeds. Who do you think is the best team in the NFC? Go down in the comments section and let me know. Believe it or not, it might not be a team we've talked about yet. It might be the number 5 seed that I think is the best team in the NFC. We'll get to them in a second. Let's talk about the number 4 seed now. That is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they are locked in to that spot. They have already clinched the NFC South. They will be the number 4 seed, and they will host the NFC East runner-up in the wild card round. So can you imagine if you're the Philadelphia Eagles or the Dallas Cowboys, and you're 13-4, and you got to go play, let's say, an 8-9 Tampa Bay team on the road in the wild card round? It's going to happen. So we'll see who wins it. But Tom Brady, you got to know he's going to be fired up. Another playoff appearance for the GOAT. They conclude the regular season Week 18 in Atlanta. It will be interesting to see if they decide to rest some of their starters for that game. Again, they already have the number 4 seed and the division locked up. Let's talk about our sponsor for today. That is Rocket Money. And I know a lot of y'all, much like myself, have a New Year's resolution to save money. Rocket Money is going to help you do that. That's why I love using Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, because they are going to cancel unnecessary subscriptions. The app shows all your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can't even find subscriptions you didn't know you were paying for. You may even find out you've been double charged for a subscription. To cancel one, all you got to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/NFL Daily. Seriously, it could save you hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/NFL Daily. Not only is it going to track subscriptions, it's also going to track your spending. I found out through Rocket Money that I spent over $700 on Chick-fil-A last year. So might need to lower the Chick-fil-A spending a little bit, but Rocket Money is helping me optimize my finances. That is the link, rocketmoney.com/NFL Daily. That link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Let's talk about the wild card spots now. And the number 5 seed is currently occupied by the Dallas Cowboys. But they could still win the division, and they will clinch the NFC East with a win and an Eagles loss to the Giants. And they still have a shot at the number 1 seed. Now, the Niners win against the Raiders just now certainly complicated that a little bit, but they can clinch the number 1 seed with a win and an Eagles loss and a 49ers loss or tie. So still an outside chance at the number 1 seed if you're Dallas, which is wild because you've been pretty much in the 5 spot the entire season. Let's talk about the 6th seed, and the Giants are locked in to that spot. They will conclude the regular season in Philadelphia, and they can certainly create some chaos if they win that game. Again, they've already clinched the number 6 seed. They would currently travel to Minnesota for the wild card round, and Giants now host Marshall Green was pretty excited to see the Packers winning that game because he would much rather face Minnesota than San Francisco, and can you blame him? San Francisco is legit. A lot of people believe Minnesota is a little bit fraudulent. I don't know if I'm in that group, but I can certainly understand why Giants fans might rather want that matchup. The Seattle Seahawks are now the number 7 seed, but they don't control their own destiny. They have to have the Packers lose or tie to the Lions next week. A loss or a Packers win, they're eliminated. So pretty crazy stuff that the Seahawks, with their win just now over the Jets, and they eliminated the Jets, by the way, they're done. They're going to be done if the Packers win. So they do not control their own destiny, even though they're currently in the number 7 seed. So they clinch a playoff spot with a win and a Packers loss or tie to the Lions. Can you imagine if we saw a tie in Week 18? The chaos that would create. Here is who is in the hunt right now. So these two teams not currently in, but they have a chance. The Packers, they control their own destiny. We'll talk more about their chances here in a second, and then the Lions as well. And these two teams play each other in Week 18, so that's going to be a fun matchup to watch. Who's going to get the number 7 seed? It's either going to be the Seattle Seahawks, the Green Bay Packers, or the Detroit Lions. Go down in the comments section and let me know who's going to get the number 7 seed. It's going to be hard to bet against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers at this point. They've completely turned things around, and everyone was counting them out. And now they are 1 win away from making the playoffs, and they would be a dangerous 7 seed. So even though they're not currently in, they will make the playoffs next week with a win against Detroit, and that game is at Lambeau Field. So it does not matter what Seattle does. If Green Bay wins, they are in. They control their own destiny. Detroit, meanwhile, they need some help. So they need to beat the Packers, and they need the Seahawks to lose to the Rams. But get this, and this is wild, Nick Roloff, producer. If the Packers and Lions tie, and the Seahawks and the Rams tie, the Lions are going to the playoffs. So the Lions have not been to the playoffs in obviously a long time. That would be a crazy scenario, but the most simple path for Detroit is to win in Green Bay and the Seahawks to lose to the Rams. The Rams did not look good today to the Chargers. The Commanders, meanwhile, they have been eliminated. And Ron Rivera, in his post-game press conference, in a clip that already has over 1 million views on Twitter, was quite shocked to hear that his team could be eliminated today. That is now official. Washington has been eliminated after the loss to Cleveland, and the Packers and the Lions win. So the Commanders are out. Certainly an interesting decision going to Carson Wentz with your season on the line today. The Saints have also been eliminated, even though they won. So they've been eliminated because the Buccaneers beat the Panthers, locking up the NFC South. So the Saints, too little too late for New Orleans in the end. They started to play a lot better toward the end of the season, but they're out. Here are some notable matchups here in Week 18. Lions and Packers is probably the biggest one. The Packers are in with a win. The Lions need some help. Giants at Eagles. If the Giants beat the Eagles, that's going to wreak havoc. You could have the Cowboys maybe become the 1 seed if some things fall into place, and the Eagles would go all the way back to the 5 seed. The Cowboys at the Commanders. The Commanders are eliminated, but still, that's a huge game for seeding. The Cowboys could be the 1 seed, the 2 seed, or the 5 seed. Those are the scenarios right now for Dallas. And then Rams at Seahawks. Seahawks need some help. If they win, they need to win, and the Packers to lose. So those are the 4 biggest games in the NFC in Week 18. Who's going to go to the Super Bowl? Go down in the comments section. Let me know who is going to make the Super Bowl. Right now, I would say Cowboys and Bills right now. However, Packers are playing pretty good ball. They can maybe make a run as the 7 seed if they get in.